you very much, Mr. Chairman, and I want to join my colleague, Ms. Fox, in thanking both the gentlemen for what they've done here. I just want to make a couple of quick remarks. Look, we all go to enough, not as much as you two gentlemen, we all go to enough classified hearings to have a pretty good idea of the scale of the threat that our country faces in terms of defending itself from both state actors and non-state actors. And I think sometimes in these debates, and I appreciate anybody that has concerns about the government or private companies manipulating information. That's an appropriate question to raise. It always ought to be raised. There's always a tension between security and liberty, so I have no problem with anybody on either side of the debate. But at the end of the day, I hope it's not lost on the American people that the threat here is not the United States government. The threat here is not private American companies. They have certainly made their share of mistakes, and they certainly bear watching, the way anybody that has great power bears watching. But the threat here is from Russia, from China, from North Korea, from Iran, from ISIS. We can just tick down the list of this country's enemies, and all of them are engaged to some degree or another in this activity. All of them have developed some capacity to act, and we've seen numerous examples of that in recent years, and some known, some not discussed, and everything from the loss of intellectual property to literally attempted acts of terror inside the United States using this mechanism. So the fact that the two of you from different political parties could come together and find a common solution to move us forward just speaks very well of both of you. This is one of those issues where I think it's easy for people at the extremes, left or right of the political spectrum, to draw points. And again, those points are worth addressing. I think they're important that we address them. I think people have every right to be concerned about what happens to private and personal data, but doing nothing is not an acceptable answer. And so if you're a critic of the legislation that you offer, it needs to be constructive criticism, and it needs to tell me your alternative, because we do live in a world where these threats are here. So again, I just want to thank you for the really terrific bipartisan work. Two of the members I like the best and respect the most, and that's a widely held view in this body. And so your credibility in having come together and worked together on this, I suspect, will bring substantial majority of both parties along and ultimately get us to where we need to be in working with the United States Senate. So it's a real tribute to both of you and a real act of unselfish patriotism. So just thank you very much for what you do. Yield back.
Chairman Coles recognized.
Just very quickly, I want to again join the gentlelady from North Carolina, Ms. Fox. I really want to thank both of you for the way in which you collaborated on this piece of legislation. I think it's so important for the country that this type of stuff be done. I'm not surprised we've got two chairmen, because obviously Mr. Thompson chaired this committee for 4 years and did it in a very bipartisan manner when he was chairman. I'm glad to see my friend from Texas is doing the same thing. I do want to add one thing, Mr. Chairman, to your comment about the amount of face time that the distinguished chairman from Texas gets. You got to say he looks the part. And I've thought about this. I've just decided you must be auditioning to be the next Fred Thompson, so you can move from politics into another career. But seriously, you bring such a wealth of professionalism as former U.S. attorney and somebody that's been on this committee and done such a great job. But the collaboration is what the country needs to see, and it's a tribute to both of you that you came together, worked together, and put a good product together. And as the chairman says, we'll try and do some things, maybe along the suggestions that you both have made to improve the product. But the basic product is bipartisan, it's thoughtful, and it's well conceived. So thank you for your work for the country.
Thank you.